My name is Greg McDaniel, and this is Real Estate Coach Uncensored.
And I'm Bernice Ross. We have a great show for you today. It's called How to Write a Timeless Business Plan. Did you know that 90% of all business owners do not have a business plan? And that's true in real estate as well. And when it comes to business planning, what happens is most people become completely overwhelmed by what is required to write a good business plan. You need to track your contacts, how many contacts turned into leads, how many leads turned into clients, how many clients sign a transaction with you, and how many close. And people get overwhelmed with that. Greg, you're running your business with a business plan, and I would like you to share not only what your business plan looks like, but what you're tracking to do to stay on target with your business plan.
My father, Terry McDaniel, built this spreadsheet for us. Here's what it is. We know that every single door or call or attempt that we make is worth $11 to us. And every person we speak with is worth $55. We know every minute, guys, literally every minute that we're out there is worth $42 to us. Every hour is worth $2,500 to us, and every lead is worth $1,125 to us. That is at a 5% conversion rate, doing prospecting 1 hour a day, 5 days a week, at a 2.5% commission rate. So we know exactly where our numbers are coming from.
Greg, that makes my head spin when I hear you talk about this, but this is the way to do a traditional business plan, and it just works. But what if you're like me and the thought of doing all that tracking and putting it into a spreadsheet? And I can't believe, Greg, that you're doing this because you're kind of go, get it done, but you cut your teeth on it. But this is how most top producers run their business. They know how much each minute of their time is worth, how many contacts they need to make. If you're not in the place to do this, we have an alternative for you today that we're calling the Timeless Business Plan. And what makes this different from what Greg is describing, which really works, is coming at it from using the law of attraction, the law of reciprocity, and paying attention to the 80-20 rule, and looking at, and what we're going to begin with, Start with Why. Simon Sinek's book, Start with Why, addresses what you need to do to find your big why. What is your big why? Well, here's what he has to say. Your big why is the driving reason you do what you do. When you hit a ceiling of achievement, it's your big why that keeps you pushing. It's the reason you keep going, even when you want to give up. So, Greg, what's your big why?
Biggest one that when it comes to mind is geographical freedom. So I can move and do whatever I want, wherever I want, whenever I want, and I can still make my money doing my real estate business that I've built for the last 21, almost 22 years now. And so that's my big thing. I don't want to be locked down somewhere.
Greg and I are both motivated by freedom and independence. And it takes different forms. I'm okay staying where I'm living. I love living here. I don't need to go driving around, but I do like cruising. You're ready to buy an RV and go all over the country. But what is your big why? For example, one of the women I met, she lost one of her sons to suicide. And then her daughter, who was in Thailand, had an operation on her shoulder from an accident, and she died.
Oh.
And her big why was to start raising money to prevent suicides. And she and her husband rode across Canada, they were Canadian, did this fundraising drive to help fight suicide. That's another example of a big why. So the question in your business, what's your big why? Is maybe you have a special needs child who has a lot of medical bills and everything, and it's just covering the cost of being able to do that. But what is the big why for you personally? Because when times get tough, you go to your big why and say, I'm doing this because. And for me, my other big why today is I want to be of service. Ultimately, that's what's driving me. It started with financial independence, but really matters most to me is what I'm doing today going to help someone else. And it's not about the money, it's about the service.
Yeah, fantastic. And there's a distinguishing point there. Is it about the money or is it about service? And it's about, what really is going to push you into that drive mode where you're going to be like, you know what, to heck with everything else. This is the direction I'm going. This is my reason why. And once you get that, it'll happen.
Well, Greg, the thing that you raised is very important. Being a top producer, making a certain amount of money, that doesn't motivate people. That's not a big why. For me, being a service does. The money is the result of the why. It's not the cause of it. And that's the difference. Now, let's go on to number two, because I just talked about service. The question is, who do you serve currently? And Greg, before we jumped up on today's show, you were talking about the people that you're attracting into your business right now. And it's kind of a really interesting group. What does your group look like?
It doesn't look like what I ever thought it would look like. I'm doing a lot more land deals than I ever thought I would ever do in my entire life. Never went after them, but they're coming to me in droves. And it's purely because the individuals I'm speaking with are guys. And we sit there and we talk about beer, gas, trucks, all kinds of crazy stuff. And we sit there and just enjoy each other's company. And I walk away with multi-million-dollar listings. I'm wearing jeans. I'm wearing, the Vans, tennis shoes, a t-shirt and a baseball hat. And you know what? It's because we're relatable, and the people are coming back to me, and it's astounding. It's literally astounding to how much business I'm getting right now, based purely on just being authentically me.
Greg and I, of course, are very different, as you can imagine. I'm the teacher, the buttoned up one. But what I always attracted in my business was people who were presidents of companies, who ran banks, or who were attorneys. Those were my, people that came into my business.
Mhm.
And when I first got on the speaking circuit, I watched all my friends out there who could sell all kinds of programs to the people in the audience. I was never able to do that. But you know who I've attracted in my business over the years? Not from my writing and from my speaking, it's been people who run companies. So again, take a look at who you're attracting. So let me give you some questions to ask about your business. Number one, do your clients share a common career such as teaching or working in high tech? Number two, where are they in life? Are they just starting out? Are they married? Do they have kids? Are they single? Are they retired, midlife? Where are they? Third, do you attract more people from a specific generation? Perhaps if you're a boomer, you may be attracting more boomer clients, but on the other hand, you may be attracting their kids or even now possibly their grandchildren. Next, what kinds of properties do they buy most often? Single family or condo, entry level, mid-market, luxury, multi-generational, investment, Greg's doing land. What are you attracting right now? The next question is, what do they do for fun and recreation? Well, you can tell from Greg's client list, they're drinking beer, talking about trucks and having fun. I was someone who never took any time off because I was always chasing my career, but so were most of my clients. And then the next question is, what did you like about working with them? And finally, most importantly, is what do you have in common with them? Greg, what we're going after here right now is to help you identify who you're attracting in your business. The law of attraction says you attract who you are. If you're someone who is ethical and you really have high standards, you're going to attract those kinds of people. If you want to attract someone who is funny, you need to be funny, or at least you need to appreciate people who are funny. The idea here is look at what's showing up in your business, because it is a mirror of who you are. And if you're getting people in your business that are not ethical and you are, the reason is you didn't say no to them. So I want to encourage you, if someone's not a good fit for who you are, refer them to someone else. And especially if you feel that they're going to be too hard for you to work with, give them to someone who can handle that type of personality. By looking at the people who are coming into your business, this allows you to work with your strengths. It's easier to attract more of the people that you're currently working with than it is to attract a different kind of person. So what we want to do is to help you identify who you're attracting in your business. If you want to attract more people, for example, who are easy to work with, you need to be easy to work with. If you want to attract more people who will send you referrals for your business, help people with referrals for their business. Again, the actions you take always come back to you. And when you help others, it will show up in other places in your life, oftentimes in your business. So, Greg, let's go on to number 3, which is which 2 or 3 prospecting activities generate 80% of your business? The 80/20 rule says that the top 20% of your activities will generate 80% of your business. So, Greg, if you look at what you're doing, what are the top 2 or 3 activities that you engage in that generate 80% of your closed transactions?
Couple of things that we're doing that's really has had a profound impact on us in the lives that we live right now. They're calls that can be to your sphere of influence. There's also outbound calls to just pending, just sold, just listed. I have a buyer in the area, the generic type, right? Those have been incredibly powerful for us. Also, it's just reconnecting with our database. How are you? How's your life? How's the family? What can I do to bring value to your business? What's your perfect client? That kind of stuff. But also, it's video, and that's both on social, but yet down to our database. I use a company organization that we shoot twice a week, and we put videos out, and we just talk to our database. And one of the gentlemen, I went out and met with him about the sale of his property. It's about a 4-lot split. But the point is that he said, Greg, good to see you. I haven't seen this guy in like 5 years. Keep that in mind. And he's like, oh my gosh, Greg, I love the last video you did about Scott Seafood. My wife and I used to go there all the time when she was alive for our anniversaries. And I love that place. And I'm like, what? So yeah, it's very simple, guys. Calls, videos equals referrals. Simple as that.
Well, the thing that I like about what you're doing, first of all, we know from the National Association of Realtors that well over 60% of all closed transactions in this country come from referrals and from being face-to-face. But the face-to-face, but calling on your referral database is incredible. And the thing that you're doing, Greg, is by also doing the cold calling, is that you have a balance between working with the people you know, but always building new relationships. And again, you're using the video, the social media, and texting, and these marketing videos, but you're using these to stay in contact with each other. Now, what kinds of videos have had the biggest uptake in terms of your professional videos? You did a series of 18 of them. You said that were very effective. What were those about?
Those are about different myths behind what would go wrong with a deal. Some other good ones were local restaurants or parks. People they love park videos. It's interviewing, maybe a senior citizen in your neighborhood, talking about their life and kind of what the experiences they've gone through and then kind of why they like the area, talking about, maybe interviewing your sellers, why they love their house so much, what was the favorite, number one, memory they have in this neighborhood, or something that nobody could know by just searching on a large platform. Just get out there and be creative, have a little bit of fun. Those are some of the videos that have been incredibly interactive. But you know what? Interview people. Why do you like this place? Why would you live here? Why did you move here? Where'd you come from? Would you move back? All these types of videos, people go banana cakes over these types of videos. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing.
Let's go on to number 4. And number 4 asks, how can I better serve my clients, my community, and create a positive interaction with anyone with whom I interact? What the law of reciprocity says, whatever you do comes back to you. Some people talk about it as karma, but the truth of the matter is, and I've heard this from my friends who are probably some of my friends who are the most generous, the more they say they give, the more that comes back to them.
Mm-hmm.
You need to look again. We talked about the law of attraction and who you're attracting. If you bend the rules, you're going to attract people who bend the rules. If you give back to others, you're going to attract people who give back to you. And an important point to note here is that the person that you help or that you give to probably won't be the person who helps you, but you set this in motion in your business. And Greg, I know this is something you live by, the law of reciprocity in your business. Could you say more about that?
I did a thing called the McDaniel Challenge a number of years ago, and it was when I would give 4 days a week. I would give free coaching for an hour to 2 hours. Some people took advantage of me and they went 3 or 4 hours, which drained me like nobody's business. But I'll tell you one thing. what I've put out there, and I've helped people build their businesses, it is the most incredible thing, because they're coming back to me and they're saying, Greg, oh my gosh, this, that, or another thing, you gave me this one little tidbit and this is what I'm doing with it. It is exponentially incredible for people to do this.
It's, again, this law of reciprocity, law of attraction. Some people call it karma. The more you give, the more that it comes back to you, whatever it is. So let's talk now about number 5, how to create your timeless business plan. And it comes down to doing the following. You know what your income goals are. You know what your strongest prospecting activities are. You know what's going to work for you. But what does your business plan look like? And it's very simple. And this is something I've trained for many years. And if you will do it, it will make a huge difference in your business. Identify the top 3 business activities that you need to do today to hit your goals, your income goals. And secondly, identify the 3 personal things that you need to do to be a better person, to be a better agent, to provide better service, to take better care of your health, to take better care of you. Now, Greg, you've taken this down to following Gary Keller's advice and the one thing, to focus on the one thing. And how has that worked for you?
Stupidly good. Let me put it that way. You know what, guys, my calendar, my team manager used to tell me that when she looked at my calendar, it literally made her dizzy. And I'm like, is that a good thing or a bad thing? And she just kind of rolled her eyes at me, and then we went on with our day. So what I decided to simplify my life. And so I do one powerful thing a day, and that's a conversation with a buyer, getting them to sign up and ready to go look at houses. It could be going to showings. It could be going on a listing appointment, setting up listing appointments. It could be doing lead generation and getting an appointment on that side. Whatever it is for you, I do one thing a day, and then I own the rest of my day for what is going to flow into my life. And here's the crazy thing. All right. As soon as I did this, my business has gone absolutely vertical. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, I'm less busy, but I appear more busy. And everybody thinks that I have no time. And I'm sitting there going like, I got plenty of time. You guys want to go get coffee? Right. And it allows me to go dive into my SOI and everyone else and do reconnections with, old past friends and everything else. But if you commit yourself, and this is just me speaking, this is my philosophy. If you do one powerful thing a day, that's 365 powerful things you get to put out there every single year. Guys, you don't need to be super busy. You need to be super productive. Let's be real clear on that difference.
Yeah, well, I'd like to elaborate on that a little bit. One of the things I learned when I was doing my coach training is that if your cup is full, there's not room to add anything else to it. If you want to make room for more business, you need to create space in your schedule. And what Greg just described is a perfect illustration of this. And of course, we know if you take a vacation, what happens? You're starting to plan for a vacation. The day or two before you leave, your business just goes crazy because you've created that space in your schedule. So, Greg, to wrap up for today, what's your timeless business plan going forward?
I want you to write down the one thing you want to do on a daily basis: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, throughout the week. One thing. That's it. I don't care what it is. Brittany, what's your takeaway?
Agents get caught in the minutia of the number of calls, the number of contacts, and it's so easy to get overwhelmed. The point being is to simplify, get it down to 3 things that you can achieve. And if you have 15 things on your to-do list, if you focus on the top 3, that's great. So, Greg, to create a timeless business plan, it comes down to having a big why, working with the law of attraction, who's showing up in your business, and constantly raising your standards. The more professional, the more caring, the more giving you are, the more you're going to attract those kind of people that are fun to work with, and they'll close more deals. And this is what it takes to create a timeless business plan. Just do, what are the 3 things I must do today to reach my income goals? And what are the 3 personal things that I need to do today to have a great personal life? Thanks for joining us today. See you next time.